All right, what's up everybody? It's Real Cool Adventures. Today I'm going to be showing you how to line a spinning rod with braided line. This is the way I do it. I think it's the best way. It packs it nice and tight. It's really fast and easy. We're getting ready to go fishing, but I don't have any line in the rod, so I'm going to show you step by step what I do. I have 15-pound braided line, and I have my spinning rod, so I'm just going to set that down. I'm going to take some water. You can also do this at home on your couch or pretty much anywhere. And I'm just going to take some water in a 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to place it just like that, right in there. I'm going to take my fishing line, my braided line, has an actual rubber band on here. I'm going to take this off. And it's really easy. This is the best way to pack a line tight on your reel. I'm just going to drop that in the water, okay? Just like so. I'll let it soak in there. I'm going to take my line, and then the same way you put line on any fishing rod, I'm just going to pass it through each eye. That duck over there is going nuts. And I'm just going to pass it through. Basically set up my rod like so. Pass it through each eye. I don't have my reading glasses on, so it might take a second. And then the same way, when you're reeling your line back in, it's going to pack it and it's going to seat nice and tight right on that reel. So I just feed it through there, through the eyes, and then I take my spinning reel. This is where you have to pay attention. And I just open the bail like so, okay? Now, if you can see that there, I'm just going to put that on my lap so you guys can see. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the reel twice. Once, twice. That bird is super loud. Then I'm going to do an overhand knot. 2 overhand knots. Once, twice. I'm going to simply just cinch that down right on the edge of the spool there. Okay? Now I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to take this, do 1, 2 overhand knots. It's probably hard to see because this line's really small. And then I just cinch that down like so. That's all I'm doing right there. Then I'm going to take pliers or a knife, toenail clippers, whatever you have, cut the tag end off. Throw that aside. That's all you do. Then you take the bail. So now that I have this cinched down on here, I'm going to take the bail. Some people put a little piece of tape on there. I don't think it's necessary because I think when it gets hot, the glue comes off the tape and that ends up messing your line up. So that's not the way I do it. I've done this my whole life. I click the bail over like so. And now I'm ready to reel it in. So now that it's like this, all I'm going to do is lightly pinch the line right here, okay? And then it just goes on like so. Just like that. Now, I don't know if you can see the spool in the bucket. You want to see that? See how it just comes off there? It aligns itself perfectly. It balances itself out in that water. And then look how that line packs nice and tight and even on there. That's because it's the same way, if you were out fishing, that it goes back on the rod. The water actually packs that line nice and tight, but it's also really critical if you come up about a foot from where the reel is. See my 2 fingers? See how I'm pinching that? I'm just barely pinching that down, putting a little bit of tension on it so that that line goes on there and packs nice and tight. Now I'm just going to keep reeling this whole thing on. And a lot of people wonder, how much line do you put on the reel? I like to leave a good 1/8 of an inch. If you put too much line on this spool, when you go to cast, it'll actually come off the top and tangle up. So more isn't always better with this. And for what we're doing, we're catching peacock bass, bluegill, clown knife fish. A lot of these fish, honestly, do not make big runs. You don't need a lot of line for what we're doing. Saltwater, you would probably top the spool off as much as possible because you have a chance of a fish going a little further. But everything we're doing is fairly close. This also helps you cast a lot better, and it really enhances your performance. Okay, so just in a matter of minutes, we've spooled the line. We didn't have to pay $20 to have it put on. And right there, that's a heavy, see what I mean by the spool? See that gap right there where my fingernail is? That's a heavy 1/8 of an inch, not quite 1/4 of an inch. That gap, I want to be able to put my fingernail right there. I don't want to put line out to here where it's even like so. I like it in a little bit. That's all you do. I've got line here, there's leftover line I can put on something else, and it's just that easy. That's how you line a fishing rod, a spinning rod, with braided line. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that helps you, and I hope it makes your day a lot easier. Look at how perfect that is. And look, see how it lays perfectly flat and smooth? That's what you want. After you've lined a rod like that, no matter what type of fishing you're gonna do, the next step, you're gonna cut the line like so. And you're going to put a swivel. I'm gonna take a small swivel that I don't have in there. I'm gonna put a swivel on. And the first time I cast or fish or anything, I'm gonna have that swivel before my lure or bobber, cork, whatever you're gonna use for bait, live bait, anything. And what that's gonna allow to do is it's gonna allow the line to get stretched out, and on its way back in, it'll twist and take out any coils or kinks that that line might have. So now I'm just gonna tie my swivel on there with a little uni knot. Slip that down. Here's my swivel. And just gonna cut that off really quick. So, I'm gonna find my leader that I'm using. What am I gonna use today? Bass fishing. Put a 12-pound leader on. I'm gonna cut about 3 feet of this. And this is before we go fishing. Before I do anything, this is the best, most effective way to get your line perfectly packed and tight on your spinning rod. Like that. Now you can also apply that same technique with a bait caster, pretty much any fishing rod, any little push button rods, anything you're lining for your kids or yourself. That 5-gallon bucket of water is your best friend. So I'll take that, cinch that down there. All right, if it's hard for you to see with the lighting and out here, and you'd like to see this again in more detail, leave us a comment down below and we'll do another video on it and be more descriptive. And we'll show you how to do it with several other reels or maybe a larger type of line or braided line. And another thing before I leave it out, it's critical whenever you're using this braided line that you use a porcelain eye or a metal eye. There are fishing rods that have a plastic eye in them, and when you reel this braided line, it's almost like a saw, and it will cut through the edge of this. So I also recommend that. Anytime you're using braided line, make sure you check when you buy a fishing rod what the eyes are made of. Make sure it's either porcelain or a metal alloy, because this stuff is really abrasive, and after several casts, it'll cut through there and kink the line, break it off, and you'll lose the fish of your lifetime, and I guarantee you that's not fun. All right, and now that we've aligned our rod and we have a swivel, what I'm gonna do is on my leader, I'm gonna put, this could be a lure, I just happen to have a bobber laying here. I'm gonna put a bobber on, like so. Just gonna clip that on there, real easy, okay? Now here's my line that we just put on. There's the swivel that we talked about, okay? There's a bobber or lure, whatever it is. All I'm gonna do is, now that this line's perfectly packed down there, I'm just gonna cast it way out. Look how far it casts. Little teeny spinner, just cast it 180 yards, okay? So then, now that I have this on, I'm gonna reel it in slow, okay? And what that's doing, just in case this line didn't lay perfectly flat on that reel, as I reel it in, that line is spinning and getting perfectly aligned, perfectly straight, and packing down absolutely perfect on this reel. And that is the best way. See how it's spinning and it's getting a little bit of any play that might be in there out. And then you pick it up. Now you see that bobber? You see how it's not spinning all over like that? That's because the line is packed perfectly straight on the reel, just like so. I hope that helps. Now let's go catch something. So I hope that helped, and leave us a comment down below and we'll see you on the next adventure.